Imagine finally cruising down the Vegas Strip, or maybe heading out to explore Red Rock Canyon, with you actually behind the wheel. Getting your learner's permit in Nevada is a massive milestone. It's literally your ticket to the freedom of the open road. So welcome to this explainer, where we're going to map out the ultimate step-by-step guide to put you firmly in the driver's seat.
But hold on a second. I want you to take a look at this number. 38.3%. That is the national statistic for first-time test takers who actually fail the written permit test. Yeah, almost 4 out of 10 people walk out of the DMV completely empty-handed on their very first try. And you know what the crazy part is? Almost all of them actually studied. The difference between passing and failing isn't just about trying hard, it's about studying the right way and knowing exactly what's coming. But hey, don't sweat it. We designed this explainer specifically to help you beat those exact odds and pass with absolute confidence.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We're looking at 1. Eligibility and documents. 2. Studying and preparation. 3. The application and written test. And 4. Hitting the road safely.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Eligibility and Documents. Basically, what you need before you even start.
First things first, your eligibility depends entirely on your age. For teenagers applying as early as 15 and a half, completing a formal driver's education course is an absolute, non-negotiable requirement. But if you're 18 or older, you're officially considered an adult applicant in the eyes of the DMV. That means the formal driver's ed course is no longer strictly required for you. Although, let's be real, it is still highly recommended if you actually want to ace that test.
All right, go grab a folder, because you're going to need to round up some essential paperwork. First, you must bring proof of identity. And we're talking an original or certified copy here, like a birth certificate or a U.S. passport. No photocopies. You'll also need your physical Social Security card and proof of Nevada residency. Oh, and if you're under 18, you're going to need a parent or guardian affidavit signed as well. Listen, here is a huge pro tip for you. Double, no, triple check these exact documents before you even leave your house. Missing just one piece of paper will completely stall your progress at the DMV.
Now, what's really interesting about this next requirement is that it's super specific to Nevada teams. It's called the DMV 301 Certification of Attendance Form. Basically, Nevada takes high school attendance very seriously. To even get your permit, your school administrator has to sign this form to verify you meet the state's minimum 90% attendance requirement. If you rack up more than 7 full-day, unexcused absences in a single semester, you simply aren't eligible to get this form. It's a pretty unique rule that directly ties your classroom attendance straight to your driving privileges.
Moving right along to Section 2. Studying and preparation. Time to gear up for that written exam.
So for those beginners under 18, here is the exact driver's education pathway you're going to need to follow. Step 1 is completing a standard classroom or an online course. Step 2, logging 50 hours of actual behind-the-wheel experience. But there is an interesting alternative exception here. Say you live out in a rural area where a classroom course just isn't offered within a 30-mile radius of your house, and maybe you don't have internet access for an online course. In that specific scenario, you can actually bypass the class entirely by completing 100 hours of driving experience instead.
Okay, so how should you actually prep for the written test? Well, you've got to utilize proven study tools. First and foremost, read the official Nevada Driver Handbook. Seriously, it is your ultimate source of truth for this whole process. Next up, take online practice tests that actually mimic the real exam format. Keeping track of how you do on these practice tests is a game changer because it helps you zero in on your weak areas. And finally, make sure you review the material regularly over a couple of weeks. Cramming the night before just doesn't work when you're trying to retain this kind of specific legal information.
All right, we are on to Section 3, Application and Written Test. Let's talk about the actual DMV experience. Let's walk through your actual DMV visit step by step so you know exactly what to expect. Step 1, and this is a major mythbuster for you, make a DMV appointment online. You absolutely do not have to waste your entire day sitting in a crowded waiting room. Booking online literally saves you hours of walk-in wait times. Step 2, you'll complete your application and pay the required fee. Step 3, you'll pass a super quick vision test. And then finally, Step 4, the main event, you'll take the written test.
Let's set some really clear expectations for what that written test actually looks like. You're going to be facing exactly 50 multiple-choice questions, and every single one of them is pulled straight out of the Nevada Driver Handbook. We're talking everything from right-of-way laws and road signs all the way to defensive driving practices and speed limits.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is that you must score at least an 80% to pass the exam and walk out with your permit. Out of 50 questions, that means you've got to get a minimum of 40 correct. It does leave a little tiny bit of room for error, but honestly, it just proves that you really need to know your stuff before you sit down at that testing computer.
Tell you what, let's actively simulate the test experience right now just to see how ready you are. Here is a real sample question pulled directly from the Nevada Handbook. How many demerit points in a 12-month period will result in a license suspension in Nevada? Is it 8, 10, 12, or 15?
The correct answer is 12. Accumulating 12 or more demerit points within any 12-month period triggers an automatic license suspension. I wanted to show you this question because it really highlights just how specific the Nevada traffic laws can be on the actual exam. You really can't just rely on general common sense for this stuff. You actually have to memorize the exact penalties and the exact numbers.
Let's try just one more quick sample question to keep our brains engaged. How far may you travel in a center turn lane before making a left-hand turn in Nevada? Think about it for a second. Is it no more than 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet, or 500 feet?
And this brilliantly illustrates why studying that source material is so absolutely essential. The answer is no more than 200 feet. Those center lanes are strictly for turning, right? They're not for through travel, and they're definitely not for passing. You have to study these specific measurements because they will absolutely show up on your exam.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 4, Hitting the Road Safely. What life looks like with a learner's permit. Success! You passed the test and boom, you are immediately issued your instruction permit. Honestly, this is a massive milestone, so take a second to celebrate it. This permit officially unlocks the supervised driving phase for you. You can now legally get behind the wheel and start practicing, provided, and this is a big provided, you have a fully licensed adult sitting in the passenger seat right next to you at all times.
But remember, with that permit comes some immense responsibility. You have got to always follow traffic laws and practice safe, defensive driving habits behind the wheel. Passing that written test, that was just the theory. Now you actually have to apply that knowledge out on the real road to keep yourself, your passengers, and everyone else out there safe.
Before we totally wrap up today, I do need to give you a quick note. The information we covered is accurate as of August 2026, but as we all know, state laws, fee structures, and DMV protocols can occasionally shift around. So please always double-check with the official Nevada DMV website for the most current details before you head out there to apply.
So, you know the steps, you've got your documents sorted, and you have your study strategies locked in. The real question is, are you truly ready to take the wheel and explore the Silver State? It's time to hit those books, schedule that online appointment, and secure that permit. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Make sure you subscribe for more content that helps you decode and conquer life's essential milestones. Stay safe out there.